Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Let's wrap up another week. Thank you guys so much for being here, spending some of your Friday afternoon with us. And yeah, jump into chat wherever you're watching. We'll do our normal pre-show roll call here. And then in about 5 minutes, officially get this started. I see Q-Boys and Silbor over on D Live in the Mosh Pit. Great to be with you guys. Hope you're well. Shout out to well, nobody on Rumble right now. That makes sense. I created the Rumble link way too late today. But anyway, if you're watching on Rumble, be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Share the link out there too. And thank you guys who are tuning in over on Rumble. And of course, we are live on pilled.net, the exclusive home for much of our content. Hour number 2 of Everyday Show is exclusively available on pilled.net. Let's see who's all hanging out in there today. Floyd, due diligence in there first, dropping a fajita Friday cookie. Floyd, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate the early support as always. Joe Elaine doing her mod thing. We love you, Joe. Thank you. And Delia checking in from Arizona. What's up, Delia? HL Paco, great to see you. Lance, Lightspear, good to be here. Says I need to learn how to code to always be first. Good luck with that. I don't know if there's any code in the world that can beat Floyd when he's on his game. Patriots 714, welcome. Good to see you out there. And let's see. Barb Robbins in the house. What's up, Barb? Good to see you as well. Truth Teller 101, welcome. R. Harrell and HL Paco. I can't, did I say hi to HL Paco already? Doesn't matter. Good to see you guys out there. Okay. Thank you, Barbie. I'll look out for that, and we'll have to figure out a way to link up there for sure. Cynthia, Snow Bunny 68. Good to see a Soldier American out there as well. What's up, guys? Roy Stones and Bones says, cheers, everyone. Killed a rattlesnake and lost my new dog. Have a better day than me, friends. You're like, your dog ran away, lost him, or like the rattlesnake got your new dog and he's no longer with us, lost him. That could be interpreted a couple different ways. I'm sorry you're having a bad day, Roy. I hope it gets better. And yeah, I hope you're able to find your dog if it's like he just ran away. I don't know what the whole situation is there, but man, that sucks. Lucy Anders, welcome. We got Kyra's out there, Range Pony in the house as well. Good to see you all hanging with us today. Fazic, good to see you. Target Driver says, drain the swamp and give DC an enema. Cheers and thank you for the can. The Prince GT says, almost done with another 60-hour week. Man, that's a lot of hours you're putting in. Glad you're able to hang out with us today. Luann V, thank you so much for the cookie. Good to see a Pensitor out there. ADT 1204, welcome. Shops ITMC, good to see you. Glenna Riggleman hanging out. ADT, thank you for the 100 gold pills, appreciate it. Hey, Viking man, how you doing? What's up? Good to see you out there, my friend. And Dave75 as well. What's up, guys? Dem turned red. What's going on? Good to see you. Welcome, 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 everybody. It is 3:58. We got a couple minutes left. Who else is out there? Joe Elaine hanging all by herself over on Rumble, modding for nobody. Lonely Joe over on Rumble. Yeah, we're gonna have a slow start over there. I waited till like 3 minutes before the show started before I actually made the post, so hasn't really had time to circulate yet. John Rogers, good to see you over on D Live. Welcome, my friend. Great to be with you all today. Again, we are wrapping up another week. We were supposed to have Ben and Tina Garrison today. Ben is under the weather, so they asked if they could push till next week. So we'll do that. Hopefully next Friday. We'll see how it all plays out. And yeah, we'll just have our normal OG discussion here today. I've got a bunch of stuff lined up. I'm sure we won't have any problem filling our time today. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. Hope you're well. Trump Red Pill 1, good to see you. Janiseppi out there as well. What's up, Jen? Great to be with you as well. M1911 Zoom in the house. Great to be with you, M1911 Zoom. All right. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and start a little bit early. I think Pinata is still doing his thing, so a lot of our crew is chilling with drunk Pinata today, but that's all right. I'm sure they'll all be over here shortly, but we'll be right back. She ran away. Well, that's good. At least the rattle. I thought the way you said that, Roy, was it sounded like the rattlesnake got your dog, and then you killed the rattlesnake out of retribution for your dog. That's how I originally had interpreted. Like, man, that's an intense day. So hopefully you're able to get her back and reunite soon. But yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes. Enjoy this awesome intro by Severinon. What's up, D. Richard? Good to see you.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all, I say you would grind. No, we won't run, we won't fall, we're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production, Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the fight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they can find. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight, but I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Thank you guys so much for wrapping up your week with us here on 412 Productions. We are sorry. Anyway, it's June 7th, 2024. My name is Adol Nero, and with me today is my good friend Tennessee Homesteader. Tien, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. As I was sharing with you, I'm battling my tractor, the hydraulic lines on my tractor. I normally don't keep the front loader connected, and it's been over the season, so over the winter, right? So today I go to connect it for the first time, and I don't know if there are quick disconnects that control. There are 4 lines, and just two of them just will not connect because
Gotcha.
the cylinders are more than likely under pressure. So I have to go out and screw with that. uh, on a
Well,
happy note, I got about a dozen new chicks and more in the way.
oh, nice, nice. Well, I'm sorry about your tractor. Congratulations on the chicks.
Yeah,
So a mix of good and bad here on a Friday afternoon.
yeah, yep. And they're all bird flu free.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Well, that's good.
They haven't been messing with any cows, so I'm sure they're bird flu free.
Yeah, so absurd. Yeah, Tian, I'm glad you're here. Glad you're able to at least stick around for a little while today, and
Thanks.
we'll see how it goes. Again, those of you hoping to catch Ben and Tina Garrison today, unfortunately, Ben is under the weather, so they asked if they could push back till next week. So hopefully on Friday next week we'll get Ben and Tina Garrison. But if you guys out there don't mind maybe saying a little prayer or just sending some well wishes, they actually have a link to. They asked me if I could share. They've been really struggling with the medical bills, from Ben's treatments, and he's been just going through a lot. So there's a give, send, go here. I'm putting in the chat. I'll put it in the Rumble and the Rumble and Pill chat. If you guys have it and you want to help them out, that link is out there for their give, send, go. But otherwise, yeah, we'll just wish the Garrisons the best and hope that we'll get Ben back here on the show next week. Hope that he gets through all the medical and health issues that he's been dealing with, which is total bummer. Total bummer. He's such a good guy. You hate to see him struggling like that. So um, hopefully he's able to get through the worst of it here and get back to normal and keep making those amazing cartoons that him and Tina pump out constantly. And also we got Drunk Pinata jumping in. What's up, Pinata? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Good, good, good. How was thinking logically today, buddy?
Pretty good. It's they're finding new ways to create new controversies. Well, not new ways. They're just creating controversies where there is none, just in an effort to keep fear mongering and as per usual.
What's the latest controversy? Like what are they going for now?
We have that there's two people that were appointed to a House committee by Speaker Johnson, and they're of course insurrectionists, and
Hmm.
they had some personal problems. I guess they're saying that because of Scott Perry having his phone seized because of the January 6th insurrection, and Ronnie Jackson, I'm sorry, apparently had some sort of a addiction problem in his past that currently doesn't have, makes them targets for foreign influence. And so because they're on a committee that receives intelligence briefings, well, the intelligence apparatus may feel reluctant to share stuff with Congress about certain things. And I'm like, look, first of all, if it's actionable, who gives a shit if Congress knows anything about it anyway? Maybe they shouldn't know anything about it, right? So it's just bullshit fear mongering about that, saying that we're less safe because some Congress people weren't told something.
These are the
I'm like,
same.
all they're going to do is take that information as for insider trading anyway. So maybe that's a good thing.
These
So
are
they're
the
about
same
that. And then
people.
they have Byron Donalds because he made a comment talking about the cohesion of the black family had been kind of dissolved after Jim Crow era because of following and being through the Democrat policies that have kind of separated the black family. He's saying, we can we can shed the negative and retain some of the positive for that, and we're seeing that that is working for us today with that cohesive black family unit and the reunification of the nuclear family within the black community, that is being able to help us create the generational wealth that we missed out on by following the Democrat policies post Jim Crow. That's what he was saying. And of
Right.
course, but they kept twisting it and bringing up things that he didn't say, saying somehow he was saying it was the golden era for the black family to live within. It's not even close to what he said. So he embarrassed this lady, Abby Phillips, and also Joy Reid yesterday. So we went over that.
Nice.
And the January 6th committee is talking about how they totally gave everybody all the evidence that they had.
Yeah, right. Well, going back to the two people on the Intelligence Committee, so the same people that had no problem with Eric Swalwell and the Fang situation, or they're really gonna go ahead and fight that battle over Scott Perry and whoever the other guy was. That's hilarious to me, because it was crickets from them when you literally had Eric Swalwell sleeping with a Chinese spy. They were incensed when he was kicked off the committees, and then Adam Schiff, who was peddling literal Russian disinformation when it comes to the Steele dossier and whatnot, being kicked off. They were completely furious about that. Now they have a problem with Scott Perry and who was the other guy? I forget his name already. Doesn't matter. Point is the hypocrisy is incredible.
Ronnie Jackson and Scott Perry. I think I said two different names earlier.
Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty amazing to me. So, well, anyway, Pinata, it's great to have you aboard. Let's go ahead. We'll do our sponsors, and we'll get into a bunch of stuff here today. Our first sponsor is Earth Garden Botanicals, earthgardenbotanicals.com, our longest sponsor. You guys know all about them. Run by Jolene up in Montana. She's an herbalist, a health coach. These wellness products are incredible, like the white pine needle extract, a concentrate version of the sunshine and pine needle tea, really good for detoxing the body. Pair that with some elderberry tonic to boost your immune system. Between the two of them, you could really get ahead of a cold or anything you feel coming on. Check out the CBD and hemp products like CBD oil tinctures. All the ingredients for this stuff is locally and organically grown right there in Montana on small farms. You have flavors like orange ginger bergamot, huckleberry cherry, cinnamon bliss, peppermint. All of them are fantastic. Check out the CBD oil for pets, the Delta 8 R&R nighttime gummies for a good night's sleep, and the Arnica salve, the topical cream for your sore joints and muscles. You can get that with or without CBD infused, depending on your preference. I mentioned the pine needle tea. There's elderberry tea, golden potion tea, serenity. Check out all the tea blends if you're a tea drinker. They're all fantastic. And then, of course, the critter juice, all natural insect repellent, a wonderful product here. It works really well. It's really effective. It smells good. It doesn't feel oily or gross on your skin. You won't even realize you're wearing it after a few minutes, except for the fact that you're not getting bit up by mosquitoes. So go check out all these products over at earthgardenbotanicals.com. Use promo code 412 at checkout for 10% off your order. And then we also have Diamond Soap Co. DiamondSoapCo.com, an America First business through and through. Family owned and operated, veteran owned and operated. Harold and Laura have been married over 33 years, are Air Force Intel vets. They make all their soaps and body butters handmade here in the United States using organic, all natural ingredients. The stuff is absolutely fantastic. The soaps smell amazing scents like Bonfire, Kentucky Bourbon, Island Escape. You got your lemongrass, your green tea cucumber, frankincense and myrrh, plumeria, and a bunch of others, guys. There's something here for everybody, from fruity to the stuff like the Kentucky Bourbon and Bonfire. I don't even know how you would classify that. I guess more like masculine scents is the way I would put those, to floral scents. Okay, so like the plumeria, there's lavender, there's rose, all kind of good stuff. So go check it out. Get yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie. They have all kind of gear to represent the company. It's a great way to vote with your dollar. Buy soap from a small America First family-owned business, as opposed to like Procter and Gamble or Johnson & Johnson. And the promo code 412 gets you 17% off, which is a fantastic deal. So that's diamondsoapco.com, promo code 412, 17% off. And yeah, thank you guys for supporting our sponsors and supporting this broadcast. Again, earthgardenbotanicals.com and diamondsoapco.com, both promo codes 412 at checkout for your discount. All right. Where to start? Well, let's start with Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon being sentenced to prison, his bail being revoked, being told to report and surrender to prison by July 1st. By July 1st. He spoke to reporters. Let's take a listen to what he had to say. Shoot.
How to eliminate all mosquitoes in a 400 square feet radius? This simple but brilliant trick keeps you complete.
The elites have been using gold to preserve their wealth for centuries, but they don't want you to do the same, do they?
Hey guys, how we doing? Get out of my way! Get out of my way! He's safe.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, so as you know, the judge today issued a surrender date of July 1st in order to let us appeal to a higher court, meaning the full Court of Appeals in D.C. and or the United States Supreme Court. As I said in the courtroom, this is an issue that legal scholars have said from day one is a case that has to go before the United States Supreme Court. The Licavoli case from 1961, as this judge found earlier in this case, cannot be reconciled with either the traditional notion of willfulness in the criminal law or the modern definition. There have been a number of cases just in the last few years that have fleshed this out and made clear that in this country, we don't send anyone to prison if they believed that they were doing something that complied with the law. In other words, what Justice Alito and Justice Thomas said in 2019, where Congress wants to require proof that a criminal defendant knew his conduct was illegal, it specifies that the violation must be willful. In the context of this statute, a misdemeanor, contempt of Congress, different from every single other statute in our jurisprudence, the court found that willful, in 1961, the court found that willfully makes default, just means, did you get a subpoena and did you comply with it? That's not what willful means as a matter of law in the criminal context. And here, the case is complicated because former President Trump invoked executive privilege and reaffirmed that before the trial started, that he had invoked executive privilege. This case raises a dynamic separation of powers issue. We know from years and decades of case law that the president and a former president has the authority to invoke executive privilege. It's his prerogative, his or her prerogative, one day maybe her prerogative, but it's his prerogative to invoke, and it's presumptively valid when invoked. It's not for Congress to determine whether it was an appropriate invocation or otherwise, and Congress cannot be the arbiter of how to respond to that. Only a court can be. That's the McGahn case. Courts have spoken clearly about this. The judge's decision today cannot be reconciled with his earlier comments in the case that Licavoli was wrongly decided. And what he said today was, he acknowledged, and the government had argued, that this panel in Mr. Bannon's case didn't have the authority to overrule Licavoli. So how on earth can you find that there's no longer a substantial question when they never even considered the modern jurisprudence? The decision has it wrong factually in many, many ways. It's a horrible decision that overlooks facts in the record. But beyond all that, the fundamental principle of law here that's got to be vitiated in the United States Supreme Court is that willfully in the criminal conduct context means that you knew you did something wrong. The unequivocal evidence in this case, without any dispute, is that Mr. Bannon never got the subpoena. His lawyer got the subpoena, and his lawyer told him an executive privilege has been invoked. President Trump confirmed that, and his lawyer told him that when an executive privilege has been invoked, you may not, as a matter of law, comply with this subpoena. It's not your privilege to waive, and he offered the committee an out. He said, if the committee works out privilege with Mr. Trump, Bannon will comply fully. If the committee goes to a judge and a judge says either privilege doesn't apply or it doesn't extend this broadly, Mr. Bannon will comply fully. The committee only went criminal for their publicity reasons and for their political agenda, and you can see that from every statement they made. And I'm going to say one more thing about this, because this is another issue. The committee, the January 6th committee, was composed and engaged in conduct that violated the House rules without any question. There was never any ranking minority member, which was an essential part, as were other parts, of the resolution creating it. My hope is that BLAG, the Bilateral Advisory Group in Congress, will be convened by the Speaker, and he will declare that once and for all that the January 6th committee violated the House rules and that their conduct and their actions and subpoenas issued by them were not lawful subpoenas. That's what they should do. They've talked about it day in and day out that the committee wasn't properly composed and violated the rules. For the integrity of the House rules, I call on Speaker Johnson to simply convene BLAG and make that position clear as a matter of law. BLAG speaks for the House in legal matters. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I've got great lawyers, and we're going to go all the way to Supreme Court if we have to, but I want to say something specifically about the Justice Department. Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, the entire Justice Department. They're not going to shut up Trump. They're not going to shut up Navarro. They're not going to shut up Bannon, and they're certainly not going to shut up MAGA. If you look right here, you reporters, in the 2.5 or 3 years we've been here, look at the rise of MAGA, look at the rise of Donald Trump. If the election was held today, according to Harry Enton over at CNN, President Trump would win in a landslide. All of this, besides the major legal issues that have to be addressed, all of this is about one thing. This is about shutting down the MAGA movement, shutting down grassroots conservatives, shutting down President Trump. Not only are we winning, we are going to prevail, and every number and every poll shows that. There's nothing that can shut me up, and nothing that will shut me up. There's not a prison. There's not a prison. There's not a prison built. There's not a prison built or a jail built that will ever shut me up. All victory to MAGA. We're going to win this. We're going to win at the Supreme Court, and more importantly, we're going to win on November 5th in an amazing landslide with the Senate, the House, and also Donald J. Trump back as President of the United States. Thank you very much.
Lock him up! Lock them!
That one protester. Hilarious. Anyway.
There were actually two, and it cracks me up because one of them was wearing a mask. It kind of shows you it all, right?
This is obvious, right? He's one of the most powerful voices in the America First movement. His show is really, really good. He calls to action a lot of people that watch. I mean, and there's no question that they waited till this point. Exactly, his 4-month sentence, exactly 4 months out, pretty much from the election. They wanted to start. They want to shut down the war room for the most crucial part of the election season. So this is what they're doing. They've been holding on to this. They've been waiting for their chance to strike. And I just want to throw this out there. Thomas Massey put this out today. He says, Speaker Johnson, why don't we rescind the congressional subpoena for Steve Bannon and officially repudiate the J6 committee by a vote of Congress? I think that's a great idea. Go ahead, Tian. I know you have some thoughts on this.
No, I mean, and that's what his lawyer was talking about, Blad, right? To do exactly, not necessarily the same way that Massey said it, but in the same vein, basically make the Jan 6 unselect null and void, what they did. I mean, there's enough evidence in what they did, which is lie, hide evidence, destroy evidence, right? And for all of that, when you look at it, what do they get? Navarro and Bannon, right? So I think we'll see if Johnson does anything. I don't know, but we'll see.
And also the way, like he brought it up too, there was no ranking member. It was formed illegally. Everything that they do has no weight. I don't like if it's not a legitimate committee. I don't think they can issue a legitimate subpoena, right? I mean, the whole thing feels like it's on completely unsolid.
This was Pelosi's little game, continuing from Jan 6. So, and then of course she had complicit individuals, namely Kinzinger and Cheney. So, and both of those paid the price, but do they care? I don't. It's just interesting to watch, frustrating, as I said the other day, and the retribution has to be massive.
Your opinion, just opinion, but like if they're able to sideline Steve Bannon for the election, how big of a deal is that? Is that?
Well, they'll be able to let's say if they prevent him from doing any form of interviews or anything like that from jail, they'll just silence Bannon. They won't be silencing the war room. He's got plenty of people to pick up the slack.
Yeah,
you were coughing. So, yeah, there's plenty of people to pick up the ball. And maybe we'll get the reprieve that from the hold on.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just being facetious there, but no, it won't. It won't shut him up. The message will still be out there. It won't come through Bannon's mouth, maybe, but it'll come from the war room. I don't think the viewership's going to stop. I don't think people watch let me put it this way. I don't think people watch War Room for Bannon.
You don't think?
No. I mean, yeah, obviously there's some form of notoriety that, but it's like watching InfoWars for strictly Alex Jones.
I mean, I think a lot of people, that might be a bad example, because I think a lot of people watch InfoWars because of Alex Jones and his performance on it.
For his antics, but he's got other people that are out there that are doing stuff, right? They're either doing reporting or investigative stuff, and they do the reporting. The same thing with Bannon. He's got guests, and they're going to continue to have guests. I'm not saying that it won't be anything, that there will be people that may tune out, but I don't think it's going to hurt the message, the vehicle.
I don't think it's going to hurt the message. I wonder how many people will stop watching if it's not him on there himself. That's, I guess, or how effective, a backup host will be in that role. I feel like Bannon's got a very powerful voice. I feel like he does a really good job in the way he delivers the information, the way he gives an interview, the way he motivates, the way he encourages. I feel like he helps keep the movement buoyant and positive, motivated. Like I think he does a really, really good job at that. And I've noticed, because I watched the show. I try to tune into about an hour of it at least every week. And I always notice, like, when there's a fill-in host when Bannon's not available, it just doesn't capture me the same way. Like, if it's nothing against like Raheem Kassam or Peter Navarro or Natalie Winters or any of those people. Well, that snuck up on me. Excuse me. Nothing against them. They all do a fine job, but I feel like he's unique. Like, he's a unique talent, and it would be a pretty big loss to have him not be able to do his show. Sorry, this sneeze is just sneaking up on me. Crazy. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what the numbers show after a week or so. Yeah, I just think that where we're at today, it's the message and the information that's coming out, but that may just be more my opinion, because when I watch the War Room, I don't watch it for Bannon.
Okay, that's fair.
But that's me, right?
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. I don't watch the War Room because it's Bannon's War Room. I watch the War Room for what they put out.
No, that's fair. That's fair. You're more about the message than the messenger.
Correct.
Yeah. No,
and that brings me to a comment, if I may, not to change the subject, and it's not changing the subject, but Trump's interview with Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
I saw Scavino put out a little clip about it where Dr. Phil is asking him about how he personally deals with the attacks and all this kind of stuff, right? Not the campaign Trump. He actually says he was asking the question. He says, not the campaign Trump, the person Trump, the real Trump, so to speak. And but the comment was that I saw a comment that basically was questioning Dr. Phil. Now, I don't have Oprah is the one to put him in the limelight, and there's all kinds of things you can question, but that's the whole point about the messenger that I'm saying. The question was a good one. The answer was a good one. I haven't seen the whole interview yet because it's behind the his website, but what Scavino put out was good, and people can't seem to get a grip. They focus on the messenger and not the message.
I think that's a big
Go
problem.
to go to his if you go to Donald Trump's either I don't know if you put it on his Rumble yet, but if you go to his YouTube, the whole thing is there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the
Donald
Gateway
Trump.
Pundit.
Yeah.
It's on the Gateway Pundit now too. That's a huge, I think, issue with the right. You know, like we're so caught up and paranoid about who's a shill, who's Mossad, who's deep state, like who that we lose a lot of good message because we're too busy fighting about the person who said it. Like Dr. Phil, whether he's deep state connected, propaganda scumbag, just whatever, a neutral entity or a MAGA patriot, who cares? Like he had Donald Trump on the show. He's asking him questions. Donald Trump's answering the questions. Like, why is it even relevant what side Dr. Phil, like judge each question for what the question is. Judge each answer for what the answer is. Listen to the context, the tone of voice, the inflection, like all the things that are actually substantial to, you know, the information you're looking to attain, like whether or not Dr. Phil is, you know, an Oprah style creep or a super patriot, you know, who the fuck cares? Like anyone's capable of putting a good message out there, good or bad, or whether they're with or against us. It's okay to separate the message from the messenger. And it's okay to keep who the messenger is in mind as part of the context of it, but to allow that to lead your consciousness when you're listening to an interview like that, I feel like is extremely counterproductive. And I feel like it's something that we've always struggled with on the right. You know, we'd rather argue about whether or not Alex Jones is deep state or Mossad, as opposed to what Alex Jones is telling us. Is it accurate or not? You know, I feel like the conversation and the argument always goes in the wrong direction. And I don't know if that's just a product of our culture, Tian, our society. You know, the cult of personality, the age of celebrity, which is dying quickly, I feel like, but there's still, you know, we still get so focused on personalities and things like that. And I think, like I said, I think it's getting a little better, but I feel like on the right specifically, we're so quick to say shill, 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 because we're so paranoid of how the system is, rather than just like digging through the meat of the conversation and just focusing on that.
Right. Particularly on interviews. You know, if you expect them not to, in Trump, when he goes into the lion's den, if you will, or into enemy territory to conduct an interview, watch how the interview is conducted. That'll tell you more than just blanking it out because it's Dr. Phil or whatnot, right? Look at the aspects when he did Tim Pool, right? That was a good interview. It was a good interview. That was, right? But it was well received because it was Tim Pool. But it was a good interview. It wouldn't matter if the same interview was conducted by somebody that is questionable, let's say, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even how we watched the interview on this show. And
yeah, exactly.
But my point is, like, even in chat, like I was watching chat, and there was I don't remember who it even was, and I'm not trying to call anybody out specifically, but there was many arguments about Tim Pool being a dink and a tool and whatever. You know, people were more concerned about who Tim Pool is and what his ideas are, rather than focusing on him interviewing the president of the United States or the former president of the United States, Donald Trump.
What questions were asked, how the questions were asked, what tone was taken, and then judge all of that within the context of the entire interview.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We've seen that happen. We've seen that with Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Not interviewing Trump per se, but when he has others, right? So it's like, anyways, not to belabor the point. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts on Steve Bannon? Before we move on, just want to. I mean, I
I
know.
hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't go to does any time. The time he's supposed to serve isn't that long. I think it's what, 4 months
Yeah.
that he. Um, so I don't think he cares from that perspective. The question is, where is it going to be served? That I hadn't heard, and how he is treated when he's there, because I don't know about Navarro, how he's been treated, and the J6 people have not been treated well, and collectively, generally speaking. So we'll see. I wouldn't want to do it, but he's in for the game, and he's going to leverage that time. Bannon is going to leverage that time when he comes out. He'll definitely have a lot to say about it. And there's been a lot of people that have been very successful at introspect and writings when they're locked up.
Yeah.
Not to say that's a good thing. I'm just saying they've leveraged it, right?
Sure. Sure. As far like they mentioned appealing all the way up to the Supreme Court, I don't know how because Peter Navarro is in there for what exactly? Is it the same thing?
Same thing. Yeah.
So the Supreme Court refused to hear his case when he appealed it. So I don't like Bannon seems very confident that the Supreme Court's going to have his back. I don't if they didn't take Navarro's case, I don't think that they're going to come to Steve Bannon's aid either. So I'm fairly confident Bannon is going to go to prison for 4 years, just based on Navarro's experience. They're basically charged with the same thing. They both tried to. They're both. Well, Navarro already tried to go up the appellate court process. It failed. I don't think he got standing in the Supreme Court. So unless there's something fundamentally different about either Steve Bannon's situation or the argument that his lawyer is going to put forward in the appeals process, I don't understand or see where the Supreme Court is going to help here.
I think the big difference between the two has been the aspects of the committee not being legitimate.
Was Navarro's from the J6 committee also, though?
Yes. Yes. But it wasn't the narrative that was illegitimate. I mean, it was the unselect and all that kind of stuff that Trump was saying, but from an aspect of looking at it, the violation of the rules. That's a more recent narrative.
I see. Yeah, we'll see what we'll see what happens with the Supreme Court. Again, I'm not confident that they're going to do anything to remedy this. But I ultimately think in the long run it helps. It makes a martyr out of Steve Bannon. I think it kind of like what's the Star Wars, there's an Obi-Wan, like strike me down and I'll become more powerful than ever before. Right. Something right. I really believe that there will be some aspect of that kind of, all right, you get me now, but when Donald Trump wins and I'm back on the air, my voice is going to be louder, more influential. I'm going to have more clout, more influence over the MAGA movement, over conservative and Republican politics. And that's honestly their worst nightmare, because I don't know if there's a more, what's the word, intense voice behind all of this than Steve Bannon's. I mean, if you listen to the way he talks about it, it's passionate, it's well articulated, it's well researched, and it's in your face. I mean, it's right in your face. He doesn't mince words. He doesn't pull punches. He's willing to call out absolutely anybody. He'll call out even the people that you believe are 100% on your side. He'll call out Jim Jordan. He'll call out James Comer and the entire Freedom Caucus. He has no problem going after sacred cows or anybody he feels like is not holding up their end, and really exposing any kind of nonsense that's going on as far as playing nice with the Democrats or slow walking things. Like he's right there on it. So I think that go ahead and lock him up now, but you will rue the day he gets back on the air and is way more powerful than he ever was prior to that. So there you go. All right, let's get into some polling here, as we're going to keep a close eye on polling, especially after the conviction. After Trump verdict, swing state polls show how it impacts voters' decisions. Days after former President Donald Trump was found guilty by a Manhattan jury, a poll in 2024 battleground states shows that voters still favor the former president. In a Quinnipiac University poll conducted between May 30th to June 5th, the former president had a 5-point edge over President Joe Biden in Georgia. About 49% backed Trump, compared with 44% who supported President Biden, the Peach State. The former president was found guilty of falsifying business records on May 30th after a roughly 6-week trial in New York. The Quinnipiac survey was the first poll voters in a swing state after the verdict had been handed down. Pollsters found that about 94% of Republicans backed President Trump in the state, while 93% of Democrats backed President Biden. Independents were still split between the two, with 45% supporting both, it found. In a hypothetical matchup that includes independent candidate RFK Jr., independent candidate Colonel West, Libertarian Party candidate Chase Oliver, and Green Party candidate Jill Stein, President Trump's support over President Biden will grow by 1 percentage point, according to Quinnipiac. Quote, Trump takes a narrow lead in the head-to-head horse race against Biden, put 4 other horses on the track, including the new Libertarian candidate, and he inches further ahead. Quinnipiac University polling analyst Tim Malloy said in a news release, it's not clear why Mr. Malloy would refer to a 5-point lead as narrow. Mr. Kennedy garnered about 10% of Democrat support in the 6-person contest, while the only 5% of Republicans support in such a matchup, it found. Georgia can be considered a critical state in the November election. Officials declared President Biden the victor in 2020. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Voters' view on the Trump conviction differ along party lines in the state. According to Quinnipiac survey, about 96% of Democrats agree with the conviction, while 1% did not agree. Among Republicans, 86% disagreed with the conviction and 10% agreed. Pollsters found that about 52% of independents agreed with the decision and 42% disagreed. Quote, in a key state that went for Biden in 2020, half the voters agree with the guilty verdict that made Trump the first president to be convicted of a felony, but Trump still has an advantage in the 2024 race, Mr. Malloy added in the release. Meanwhile, some 22% of voters stated that they are less likely to vote for President Trump after the verdict, and 23% said it's more likely that they will vote for him. About 54% said it doesn't change their vote. After the conviction, President Trump told a press conference that he would appeal the verdict and also called on the U.S. Supreme Court to intervene before he is sentenced. A judge overseeing the case set a sentencing date for July 11th. Let me see if there's any more numbers here. Not on this one. All right, so there you go. So in Georgia, anyway, it seems to be pretty split. Are you surprised that more independents agree with it than disagree? Are you surprised to see 10% of Republicans agreeing with only 1% of Democrats disagreeing? Is that just the way the poll was conducted, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the poll. I'm looking at RCP and on the polls that were taken between 5:30 and 6:05, and out of those 5, 3 plus Trump and 1 plus Biden. So it's the poll.
Okay. I got another one here on
and the framing is everything on these as well, because they'll say, okay, do you think it's good for a president to be a convicted felon? Most people would say no. I would probably say no, depending on how the question is framed. But they were counting on people saying that, yeah, I wouldn't vote for someone who was a convicted felon, but would you vote for Donald Trump if he was a convicted felon? That would be a different question. And
Right.
so the way they preface this, they kind of prejudice their own poll by implying that something. But if you ask somebody, would you vote for somebody that was wrongly convicted of felony? The way they frame it's everything. So I think they're really disappointed about these polls. You still have some of these people on the Democrat side that are like still believing that that's hurt him. It was a net negative, but I don't think it is. Because once people understand what it is, that changes everything.
The interesting part, and I agree with you, and the interesting part is that they may feel negative about Trump, but it hasn't manifested into a positive for Biden.
No.
Right? So that's the game. That's the aspect. If Trump loses support per the poll, right?
Mhm.
And naturally, are we looking at the aspect of the support is lost, but the other guy didn't gain it? It's not a. Is it a loss? Because it's not a case. It's a case of the vote didn't swing. People
Yeah.
just retracted.
I think the most telling question there was, are you more or less likely to vote for him? And that was pretty much split. 22% said less likely, 23% said more likely, right? And we
And
don't know.
54 said nothing changed.
Yes, and we don't know what the breakdown of that is too. So it's
Right.
hard to say. Like, you have 23% of people say they're more likely, even though they're already planning on it. Now they're like definitely, or like less likely, even though they're already not planning on it. And those, it doesn't change. They could have already had any idea of what they're going to do to begin. You know what I mean? Like, so there's so much ambiguity there in the way that they do this. It's hard to take too much from it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the trending aspect of things, right? Not any one single poll. Everybody's chomping at the bit for the polls to look at the numbers after the verdict.
Yeah.
But we need to look at the polls. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying let's look at the polls that manifest themselves, a week or two after the verdict, not just the ones immediately after the verdict.
I agree with that.
Because it's like seeing a bump, okay? So maybe you got a negative bump. Then when more facts come out, I think Lydia put out there, it says, those who think conviction was okay don't know the truth of the case. That's a valid comment. Some of them don't care about the truth, but there's if those people that are polled are watching the media, then Pinata can tell you what the media is telling them. Trump is guilty, Trump violated, Trump broke the law, Trump deserved it, blah, 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 blah.
Whoa, major breaking news, Hold on. What? Let me bring this up, guys. Give me a second here. I'm just seeing this. We have to look at this together. This might be really, really big news. Breaking. Come on, get out of the way, Zoom. Go. Get. All right. Breaking. Judge Mershon has notified all parties in the New York case of a Facebook post made a day before Trump's conviction by someone who may have known one of the jurors. New York law requires the verdict nullified and new trial held. Quote, my cousin is a juror and Trump is getting convicted. This is absolutely insane. It could still have been a random person, but I doubt if Mershon is alerting the parties. Things are about to get very spicy.
Whoa.
Oh, you mean the jury was unfairly prejudiced? No way.
What?
No, it means no. The thing is that it's what, not disputing what you said, Pinata, but what this sounds like is a juror talked.
Yeah.
Well, no, but this is ahead of the verdict.
That's what
meaning
I mean.
meaning before, because the whole point is that they're not supposed to talk to people and they're not supposed to really have it in their mind that he's guilty until they ask him to go back and deliberate.
That's my point. But if it's a person that knew the juror, my cousin, is per of what it's written, that means the juror talked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, they talked to somebody and they had already made up their mind. It was a prejudiced juror and it didn't follow the instructions.
Yeah, this is all over Twitter right now. So this looks like this is wow. Wouldn't that be something?
A new trial.
If they had to vacate the verdict.
But guys, they already called him a convicted felon. Oh,
it's a new jury to vote.
Yeah, the whole thing has to they have to start with jury selection all over again. Wow.
And they now know what the supposed case is, and they can actually defend themselves.
Yeah,
supposedly. I mean, I know the judge is going to have all the same decisions probably, but still, the point is now it's more publicized about what the judge did that was wrong, which was reversible on appeal.
Dude, they're gonna MSNBC. They're gonna literally lose their shit in
I'm gonna
tomorrow.
have a great show tomorrow. If tomorrow 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh my goodness, this
Mad
is
Cow's going to be going, they got to give that judge more money. But here's the interesting angle to this, right? Why would he do that?
Can you
Why
read
would
read that thing? What does it say?
It says, "Dear Counsel, today the court became aware of a comment that was posted on the Unified Court System's public Facebook page, and which I now bring to your attention. In the comment, the user Michael Anderson states, quote, 'My cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. Thank you, folks, for your hard work.'" Oh, there's another picture here. If that's
There you go.
hold on.
Closing
The
and then it says
now
closing. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the comment, now labeled as 1 week old, responded to a routine USCS notice posted on May 29, 2024 regarding oral arguments in the Fourth Department of the Appellate Division unrelated to this proceeding. The posting, entitled "The Appellate Division, Fourth Department will hear oral arguments this morning at 10. The comment are both viewable. The comment are both viewable at, and there's the link to it, and it's signed by Juan Merchant. I mean, it sounds like they're going to have to retry this case.
so then that's why I asked the question, then why would Merchant do that? I mean, if
Do
he
what?
didn't bring this up at all, what would happen, right?
Well, somebody brought it up to him, and he understands that he has to do it. Otherwise, I mean, he has to
Right.
have he has to
Because
have
that
appearance that he's doing his job.
he's being forced into it, which otherwise it would be a mistrial.
Yeah, yeah.
This could absolutely change everything.
It will.
You know what it changes? The convention.
Yeah.
They can't.
The sentencing. What sentencing? What sentencing on July 11th?
This isn't going to happen before the convention.
No. Wow. They'd have to, I'm guessing, find whoever made this post and behind the scenes confirm that they actually knew somebody on the jury, right?
Yeah, but I think, why would they make this public if that wasn't already done? I think the outreach is done. They have already figured out that this is going to come out, so they understand this is forced their hand.
Yeah,
because my guess is all the internal, because there's no way they would just come out with this like this, in my mind, unless they knew that they were going to have to go through the motions on this.
You know what that means?
You're right. You're right.
You probably saw this when it happened, and they were probably hunting it down, but still continued on with the proceedings. Like, you would think, like, wouldn't, if you saw this on the Facebook page, wouldn't you just stop everything until you figured this out? You know what I mean? So to me, what this says too, which
I thought they could get away with it.
No, not that they thought they can get away with it, but they're so desperate that they kept moving forward to get the headline of a conviction, even though they knew this was coming. Right. So rather than stop
absolutely, I agree with that. Absolutely.
Rather than stop it and be like, hold on, we have to investigate this, we're holding all proceedings, they went and rammed through a conviction, get the headlines, get the label convicted felon, and then now they're going to, whatever, maybe retry the case or start over again. But it's one of those things where the lie gets around the world before the truth even has a chance to put its pants on. This is what they did. They knew this was never going to hold up, but they plowed forward anyway because they're so desperate to call him a convicted felon that they just, they didn't ignore this, but they also didn't let it stop them. And they waited until after this all broke. They gave it a week, right? About a week to really hit the news cycle, let people talk about it, let it sink in, let people, believe that he was convicted fairly for a period of time. Because like anything else, once you get it into people's minds one way, like you put the lie on the front page, and you put the correction, 5 paragraphs deep in an article, 28 pages into the publication a week later, where no one will see it, kind of deal. So this is 100% not just an exposure of how corrupt and rigged this all was, but also how dirty and corrupt and the collusion between the the media and the PR machine for the deep state, along with the court system, which is totally dirty too. So this is pretty incredible stuff. If you really dig into it from all angles and the implications of it from all angles, this is wild, absolutely wild. I think the fallout from this could be potentially paradigm shiftingly bad for this court. I mean, this is crazy. Sorry, go ahead, guys.
At this point, we're looking at 41 days, 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 58 seconds to 8 p.m. on the 18th, which is day 4 of the RNC. That's when it's all over in the nomination. So that 41 days, no way that they're going to hold a new trial or reconvene or do all of this within 41 days.
Wow.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, let's not, because it also says that it was posted on a page that was unrelated to the proceeding. But the point is that if that's true and they're putting this out and they to me, that there's no way that they just put this out unless they already did the investigation and understand that it was a juror and it was a family member and that.
Yeah.
The question is, did the juror do it on purpose, or was it just an idiot that couldn't keep his big mouth shut?
I think it's an idiot that couldn't contain themselves.
Yeah. All right. We have to go to our break here. We're gonna keep talking about this on the other side. Major breaking news, potentially a new trial in New York for Donald Trump. We're gonna keep talking about it in hour number 2. Guys, please jump on over to pill.net. To keep hanging out with us. We'll be turning off all these other platforms here in just a moment. The link to get to pill.net is in the Rumble video description underneath the stream. I'm going to throw it in the live chat for you. I'll throw it in the D-Live chat as well, or simply type in pill.net to your browser. Find us at 412 Productions. There's thumbnails at the top of the screen on mobile for all the live channels on the left-hand side on desktop. It's super easy to get to us. So I hope to see you guys over there. We'll play a quick video, come back on the other side, officially say goodbye to our other platforms, read your gold pills, and we'll continue on talking about this major breaking news about the trial. This is big stuff. All right, guys, we'll see you in a minute.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pill.net. Free speech lives here.
Yeah.
All right, we are back. Thank you to everybody who jumped over to pill.net for hour number 2. I really appreciate all of you guys who do that. It means a lot. Again, the link to jump over is in the video description underneath the Rumble stream. I put it in the Rumble and D-Live chat as well. Or go to pill.net. Find us at 412 Productions over there. If you're not jumping over, no worries. I hope you have an awesome rest of your Friday night. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be doing the Saturday morning chat. It's been a while since I've taken your calls. We'll play some music. We'll have a nice little start to our weekend. We'll go from 10 a.m. till about noon tomorrow. And yeah, it should be a fun start to the weekend. And then we'll go on Monday next week. We'll be welcoming in Scott the Groat of Woke Society. So he'll join the panel. That should be a hell of a show on Monday as well. So get on over to pill.net for hour number 2, or we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, 10 a.m. Bye, everybody. Or everybody but Pill.